Hello, everyone, and welcome to Enfys Tarot. I'm so happy to see you today, joining me live for Tarot Tuesday. I will be accepting questions. Please pop your questions into the chat column. Please subscribe to this channel, and I will be happy to answer any question that you might have. This will be on a first come, first served basis, and I will be getting one answer for each person. How about now? Are you getting sound now? I'm hearing it on my end. Okay. All right. Do you have any questions for us today, Stone Ladder? All right. You want to know what spirit guides think you need? Shuffle them up a little bit more. Okay, here we go. All right. So your first card is the Knight of Wands, and that means you need to go ahead and move forward with passion and energy and confidence. And that can pertain to whatever it is you're working on. Don't be afraid to be feeling isolated or left out of any community circles that you're used to being. This might be a bit of an individual endeavor for a little bit, but you should still move forward passionately and with confidence. Your next card is the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, which means that this period of time might be a little bit difficult, but it's going to get you to where you need to be. Don't hesitate. Just go ahead and keep rolling with it. Whatever discomfort you experience, keep having trust and faith that you're going to get through the difficult parts of this and let go of any of the thoughts or beliefs that might be getting in your way and making things more difficult than they need to be. You will need to break free of some bad habits and potential bad relationships that could be feeling like attachments or chains. Um, but you have what it takes to do that. So you might have to get rid of a couple of unhealthy attachments. Don't overthink it. And that's what you need right now. Does all that make sense? Okay, great. All right. Well, thanks for your question tonight, Stone Ladder. I appreciate your visit. All right. Who's next up? I'll do. If you're just tuning in, we're doing free live readings tonight. I'm happy to get one question answered or you can find out what the universe wants you to know right now. If you're new to my channel, please like and subscribe. My sound is cutting out, and I'm not sure why it's doing that. I'm getting a lot of I'm hearing everything echoed back to me after I say it. Not really sure what to do about that. I'll try turning it down a little bit and see if that helps at all. Welcome everyone to my channel. We're doing live free readings here on Tarot Tuesdays. If you have a question, please pop it in the comments section and just let me know who's next up. How's the sound now? Is it any better? Yeah, I did that. If I go like this, can you hear me if I do that? Can you hear me? No. Okay. How about now? Okay, good. All right, who's next up? Does anybody have a question? These are 100% free readings this evening, up until right around 8 o'clock. Anyone who has a question, I'm happy to answer. Who's in here with us tonight? I see a couple people have joined us. Welcome. This channel is Enfys Tarot, and I'm happy to answer whatever question you might have. Just pop it into the comments section. Well, I guess while we're waiting, there's no harm in just pulling some cards, and I can explain to you guys what these cards mean until someone has a question that they want answered. So let's see. Well, this one we already, so I don't want to repeat that one. All right. Okay, so this card is the Three of Swords card. And this is basically a heartbreak card. This is when we've experienced a disappointment or a heartache. I mean, it's a pretty straightforward card. And usually the Three of Swords represents the rule of three. It can apply to so many things. It comes in threes. The symbolism of a triangle, where there's like a foundation. It talks about how our mind is in a suffering state, and how we build our belief systems based on how we experience pain sometimes. So that's sort of the meaning of the Three of Swords. And typically, if you get the Three of Swords in a reading, it does mean that you've either recently experienced a heartache or maybe you're about to. This is the Three of Pentacles. Came in reverse. When it's in the upright position, it represents teamwork and strong communication. It's when you have a group of people working toward a common goal. When it's in the reverse position, it can mean that there's some kind of breakdown in communication, or the team is beginning to sort of fall apart a little bit. There's a lack of working together. Something gets in the way. The Hangman is a really powerful card. This is the card that says you want to really just rest into whatever your current circumstances are. So, whatever you're experiencing, you want to just sort of succumb to that experience and make peace with it so that you can see a new perspective. A lot of times when we're uncomfortable, we tend to try and fight our way out of that discomfort as quickly as possible. And this card is asking you to relax into the discomfort and acknowledge what's happening so that you can have a full perspective of what's going on. And sometimes that's really what's needed. It's not always to try and fight the discomfort. Sometimes it's really to rest into it and understand what's going on a little bit better. Hey, Anna Lopez, how are you? All right, had an open mic night, but wanted to pop in and say hi. We'll watch later. I'm so glad you popped in. Have fun tonight. Here is the Justice card. The Justice card represents basically what it says on the card. It is justice. It's when you're experiencing an opportunity to see the fairness, see the redemption. It's never about revenge. It really is about justice and fairness and having the strongest and best outcome for all involved. That's the justice part. And next up, we've got the Knight of Pentacles. And this guy is who really plods along. He's very, very deliberate. There's nothing hasty about this card. When you want to get something done, when you want to achieve a goal, if this card comes up in your reading, it means that you are being asked to take your time, do things step by step, steady as it goes. There's no rushing and there's also no waiting. It really is taking small steps to get point A to point B as long as it takes. Just keep moving along there. It's the tortoise. The King of Cups is the card that talks about someone who is really in tune with their emotions, and they can read others, and really they're hypersensitive. They're not hyper vigilant though. They understand everything that's being experienced around them from an emotional perspective. They know what people are feeling and how best to navigate those feelings and how best to accommodate those feelings. Even sometimes, if accommodating those feelings isn't to make someone feel better, but it's to acknowledge what they're going through with a deep understanding and help them work through it. So that's the King of Cups. When the King of Cups is in the reverse position, though, that can sometimes mean you've got someone who's being emotionally manipulative or taking advantage of others because of their emotions. And sometimes it means that they're not able to maintain their own emotions. They're either blocking their emotions because they don't want to experience them, or they're having a hard time managing at that moment. And then we've got the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is pretty much the same King of Cups. The only difference, well, not the only difference, but one of the biggest differences is you see her, she's holding this cup here, and it's basically like she understands emotions at such a keen level, but she's also holding space. She's really holding space for her emotions and the emotions of others. And another thing to recognize about these two cards is that they're water cards. Water represents our subconscious. These cards come up in a reading. Sometimes it can mean that you want to pay closer attention to your subconscious, listen to your dreams, tap into your emotions, and help let those emotions help to guide you through whatever it is you're going through. Sometimes just acknowledging how we're feeling and really holding a space for that is important. So anyone who's just popping in, please, if you've got a question, if you would like something answered, just put a question in the comment section and I'll be happy to pull your cards for you. If this is your first time joining my channel, I welcome you here. This is Enfys Tarot. Tonight I'm offering 100% free readings. It's on a first come, first served basis. If you have a question or if you just want to know what the universe wants you to know right now, just pop something in the comment section and I'll be happy to pull your card. Also, if it's your first time here, I welcome you to please subscribe to my channel. I do plan on having more of these free readings in the future. Every day during the week, just about, I will be posting something in the morning for the community. It will not be a free live stream each day, but it will be a reading for you to check into and just see what it's all about and what you need to know for that day from a community standpoint. But for now, any questions are welcome in the comment section. And while you're getting settled in, I have been going through the cards as we're waiting for visitors, just sort of explaining what some of these cards mean as they come up. And this card that's coming up here is the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords represents someone who is really stuck. They're finding themselves in a place where they just feel like they cannot move forward. And the beauty of this card, when you receive it, is it's telling you that the only reason you're stuck is because of your own beliefs. You're falsely imprisoning yourself. You're trapping yourself for no reason. You can see in this card, the individual is blindfolded and bound and surrounded by these swords. The swords represent her thoughts and beliefs, but she's actually not trapped. And all she's got to do is let go of those beliefs and she's free to move forward. So if you get this card in the reading, It's simply acknowledging that that's where you are right now, and there could be some areas for you to open up to before you can move forward. And if the card is in reverse, it means you're having a realization. And whatever you're recognizing at that moment is going to help you break free from those false beliefs that are imprisoning you for no reason. This is a scary looking card, but it's actually a great card to get in the reading. It helps clear things up. Then we've got the Chariot. If you see the Chariot here, you notice that you've got these two opposing sphinxes, right, at the base of the Chariot, and they represent the balanced but opposing forces that the driver of the Chariot is keeping control of. The driver is able to maintain the direction of these two opposing forces, and these forces are needed to propel the Chariot forward. So when you get this card in a reading, it represents forward momentum. It represents maintaining control over opposing forces and a situation. And every now and then, it can also represent travel. It can just mean that you've got a trip coming up. You're getting ready to go somewhere. So sometimes that's what it means. But the real gist of this card is allowing the two opposing forces to push forward, and you maintain control over that. The Five of Pentacles is a card that represents feeling like you are isolated, ostracized, sort of shunned a little bit from areas of your life that you feel like you should be comfortable in. This card can come up when people are feeling like they don't fit in where they want to fit in. It can also sometimes represent poverty. If you're in a place where you feel like you just can't make ends meet, sometimes that can be represented in this card. But the thing that you want to pay attention to here is they're not so far away from where they want to be. Um, they're they're hitting a rough patch, but they are together, and these stained glass windows represent hope and access to what's needed. So there's always that silver lining in this one that you want to pay attention to. Hi, Morgan Bermucci. Welcome to the channel tonight. Do you have a question? Unsavory ace, you get Five of Pentacles all the time. Is that typically because you're feeling like you're being sort of ostracized or left out, feeling like you don't belong, or is that because you're having a hard time financially? Both. Would you like a reading tonight? All right, here we go. I'm going to pull some cards for you on Savory Ace. Do you have a question specifically? If you have a question, pop it in the chat box. And if you just want to know what universe wants you to know right now, you can say that too. Here we go. Am I going the right direction with my career? Okay, let's find out. Hi, Mirden. I see you in there. Okay, so your first card, Unsavory Ace, is the Seven of Cups. And this means that right now you may be finding yourself in a place where you have a lot of thoughts in a lot of different directions. So if you're feeling unsure about which direction to take in your career, because you're thinking about a lot of different ideas, it might be time to start honing in on like just one or two of those ideas. Start weeding through them. You don't want to have any sort of fantasies or daydreams or thoughts of the grass being greener on the other side. Sometimes that's what's represented in this card. So it seems like that might be the place where you are. But then your next card is Judgment. And that means that you do have the capacity to see things clearly, and you must use your best judgment on this. You've got to be able to really think with a clear, level head and choose wisely. The Queen of Swords in reverse can sometimes indicate that there's a lack of clarity that causes frustration, and that frustration can create an arena for you to speak too sharply. If you think that you're at risk of speaking to your coworkers or your boss or your clients or whomever out of anger, you want to be careful with that right now with work. And this one coming up here in a work reading. Now, this is really important, and I don't know which direction this leads for you, but it is in reverse. This card can mean sometimes that you're actually not working on the right stuff, that you should be applying your efforts elsewhere. It can also mean that you have to practice more. You've got to hone in on your skills a little bit more and focus more on the work at hand. So you're the one who has to kind of decide what this card means to you, but it's either saying you've either got to focus more closely on the task at hand and really hone in on your skills, or it's time for you to start focusing your attentions elsewhere, which I understand can be really confusing considering you started off with the Seven of Cups here. This is an interesting card to get next in your reading because the Knight of Cups is a bit of a knight in shining armor. There's a degree of being swept off of your feet with this card. If you are being presented with a new career opportunity right now, it is well worth considering. It could be something that you end up feeling really passionate about, but you're going to have to use your best judgment on this. You're going to have to really think things through. Be honest as you're going through this. This card in reverse here is saying that something is going to come to light. If there's been any kind of dishonesty or sort of like shady activity going on by you or anyone else in your career, it's about to come to light, and you want to beware of that. And you want to make sure that, how do I say this? This could be a no-win situation. So watch out for this. Watch out for unnecessary conflict. Watch out for people who are being deceptive, and understand that if you fight too hard for something that isn't quite right, no one's going to win. You're not going to win. They're not going to win. Here's another conflict card. You might be dealing with people at work right now or on the horizon who you're not getting along well with, but ultimately, you're going to find yourself in a place of financial stability. Your career is going to have a strong foundation. Stick with the good judgment on this. Make sure that you are practicing and honing in on the skills that you really need to be honing in on. If you are presented with an opportunity that feels really good, like you're really passionate about it, you should probably go for it and just be honest about it on your way through. Don't worry too much about don't focus on the conflict. Just go through carefully and honestly, and you'll get to where you need to be. Does that answer your question? You got a lot of cards there. You're welcome. All right, who's up next? Morgan, did you want a reading? Yeah, I see. Any advice for someone who's feeling overwhelmed, like there's too much to do and don't know how to get it all done? Okay. So, Morgan, I'm going to read your cards now, and it's going to have to do with advice for overwhelm. Little steps, little bite-sized steps. Keep on practicing, keep on working toward your goal, one bite-sized piece at a time. Don't let up, don't take a long break, but you also don't have to plunge headfirst into anything in full steam ahead. This is about practicing a little bit every day. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, that is the attitude you want to bring with you. That means getting up every day and starting to do those little things like make your bed, prep your food, get your little bit of work done, study a little bit, whatever you're working on. It's doing a little bit every day of all things. And manage your emotions. Do what you can to manage your emotions. And the fact that here means that if there's someone else, maybe you have a counselor, maybe you have a friend, someone who could be, you would see them as a mentor or a guide, definitely lean into that and really share your emotions. Don't keep your emotions bottled up. Go ahead and work through those. You can acknowledge those emotions and sit with them for a minute. This is such a wonderful card for you to get with that question. You have absolutely everything it takes to manage all of these challenges. This is the conquer card. You are going to be able to get all of these things done. And although you might feel, I don't know if you can see their expression, this person is certainly, feeling exasperated right now. They are giving it all they've got, but they are on high ground and they are managing all of what they need to manage successfully. You got that card in the upright position. And here's the Queen of Cups. Guys, I pulled the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups close together earlier tonight, and then I have shuffled the heck out of these cards, and they're still both coming up in your spread. You're going to want to be really tuned in to your emotional well-being, Morgan. You're going to want to hold a space for your emotions and the emotions of those around you and respect it. Just because you have everything you need to get through this doesn't mean it's gonna feel good. So you're gonna have to make peace with that a little bit with the discomfort, and just allow it to be there. And that is going to help you to grow, and it will get easier. Hold the space for those emotions. And you got the King of Cups in reverse. Don't get carried away with anything. Don't get swept up in the romance of the emotional state of overwhelm. That can be sort of a romantic draw. It can be a little dramatic, and you can feel like you get carried away with that sometimes. Don't get swept up into that. You want to continue managing. Continue managing. You're clearly good at that. And finally, here's your Knight of Pentacles. Your Knight of Pentacles telling you again, one step at a time. It's the tortoise and the hare story with this one. Just little by little, steady as you go, keep plodding along. No pausing and no haste. All right. So I would say that's the advice for sure. I mean, that was really loud and clear. Does that make sense? You're welcome, Morgan. I hope that that helped. All right. Unsavory Ace, I do see that you have a question. Ben Stricker was first, and he's asking, should I make reserve choices or be more outgoing? Boy, that's a great question. All right. Let's see. Should I make reserved choices or be more outgoing? All right. Well, I would say that with this card coming up, there's definitely a feeling of, I mean, it's funny we're getting this card again, the Five of Pentacles. So in terms of reserved choices, you might be a little too reserved. It might be holding you back from feeling like you belong, feeling like you are getting what you can out of a situation. You might be isolating yourself a little bit. If you're too reserved, you're really holding back and you're not putting yourself out there as you could be. And that can make you feel pretty isolated. It can make you feel pretty downtrodden. So let's see what else you've got coming in here. It would appear that, you do have a lot of thoughts and belief systems that tend to create rough waters for you. This card is, I'm going to hold it upright so you can see the beauty of it. You've got these two fairly vulnerable figures in this rowboat, and they're being pushed ashore, right, by someone who they're trusting to guide the boat to them. If you look in front of the boat, you can see that the water is smooth and the shore is close ahead. If you look behind them under the boat, it's still pretty rough water. The rough water is caused by the swords that are coming down. And those are your thoughts and beliefs that are getting in the way of smooth sailing. So this is probably suggesting, since it's in the reverse position, you're gonna get to where you need to be, whether you like it or not. Like, you're already headed there. If you can loosen up a little bit and have faith, you're probably gonna find that the way is much smoother for you. So, it's looking like you maybe are a little too reserved sometimes. This card coming up in reverse, I think it's suggesting that you should take a few more chances. You should practice this a little bit. Again, this card is about, like, little baby steps and practicing little by little by little. It's suggesting that you don't need to just rush into, um, being super outgoing. This card is suggesting that you wanna do little bits every day and just sort of work on it a little bit here and there and start loosening the reins a little bit on yourself. Start relaxing just a little bit and feel more comfortable with who you are in situations, because you do tend to find solace alone. This is the Hermit card coming up. So if you feel like you're probably pretty, um, you know, inward and introverted, and you really need time to yourself to recharge your social battery, um, it's recognizing that. So you might be, and this is not in reverse, so you might be someone who requires that time, and that's important. Don't give up that time. You're going to need to recharge your social battery in between your baby steps of practicing. we have any more here for you. Yeah, it's this card coming here is gonna say you're probably gonna have a little bit of discomfort, a little bit of difficulty getting out there. This is not natural to you. This being very outgoing is not where your comfort lies. And it's saying you really don't need to go too far out in that direction. Just little bit, okay? Just a little bit more outgoing. You don't have to go nuts. But if you are a little bit more outgoing, it will bring you greater perspective. Make peace with the discomfort of being just a little bit more outgoing, little less reserved. Don't ignore your recharge time, and you will end up having a new perspective. You're gonna grow from this. Does that feel right, Ben? Ben, I hope that helped. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next person on the list. Thank you so much for letting me read your cards. The next person up here, let's see, it looks like Theta Grace. Jill, you've got this question. What are some good ways for you to clear out clutter and old energy? Where should I teach belly dance class? Okay, clearing out clutter and old energy for Jill. And belly dance. All right, we're going to start with the first question. We're going to start with the clearing out clutter question. Old energy. Oh, here, let's find out. All right. Okay, so the first thing you have, Jill, is death in reverse. Okay, so here's the thing. You know that you do need to clear out the clutter and remove old energy. That's true. But it seems like there's a part of you that is resisting letting that go. So part of your answers are going to come out when you understand that it's okay to let it go. There's some stuff you're holding on to because you're not quite ready, and you feel like maybe you might need it for something at some point. But this part is suggesting that you really are resisting letting it go. There's part of you that's stopping you from letting it go. So see if you can acknowledge that, sit with that a little bit, because sometimes what we think we need, we don't actually need. And when we can start letting a little bit of it out, sort of like drip by drip by drip, all of a sudden there's a trickle, and then there's a stream, and then everything is let go that we need to let go. But it starts by acknowledging that we're holding on to something that we don't need to, and just testing it out, just letting it drip out a little bit and then see what happens. So that's the first thing that is important for you to know. The second thing that's important for you to know is that you need to do a little grounding work. Okay? The sun is in reverse. When the sun comes up in reverse, it can indicate you're not feeling fully yourself. You're not able to re energize in the way that you typically can. So, see if you can do some grounding work, and perhaps meditation is going to be helpful in this. If you can spend some time in nature, but not for the purpose of doing anything, just be outside and clear a little bit and get grounded. Get your roots deep into the earth, okay? And finally, in terms of removing old energy and clutter, do it with passion and curiosity. Do it with confidence. Know that it's okay and important for you to do it. You don't have to be afraid of this. You don't have to think that you holding on to anything for some reason. You know that this is what's best for you, and you can do this moving forward with confidence knowing that. Absolutely. It's time for you to let those things go, whatever you're holding on to. So I think that for you, Jill, right now, it's a matter of maybe parts of you feeling like you need these things and you're not quite ready to let them go. And you're getting big signs that if you do some grounding work and remind yourself that you are connected and all of the stuff that you need to get rid of is going to go into the earth. The earth is going to use it. It's going to compost it. It knows exactly what to do with this stuff. And you no longer need to hold on to it. You can do that with confidence. And let's see if there's one more card uh, for the belly dance question. I want to see if I can do that sort of real quick, trying to do sort of one question for everyone. But I think if I can do this one's kind of an easier question. It should be a short answer. So the question exactly is, where did you go? Where should you teach belly dance class? That's sort of a quick one, I think. Let's find out. This is the card that's talking about places you're familiar with. Go back to some of your old haunts. Go back to some of the places where you probably started out belly dancing and teaching. That's where you need to go back to. Either you're going to be teaching there, or by going back there, you're going to find where you're supposed to go. So that's where to go for the belly dancing. And if that doesn't work, you can come to Bel Air, Maryland, and I will be happy to join you in your belly dance classes. Thanks for stopping in tonight, Jill. I hope that you had a fun time and I got to answer your questions. All right, let's see. Unsavory Ace, I think we're ready for your second question. Oh, actually, I made a mistake. No, we've got somewhere. We've got Mindful Mind next. Yes, Mindful Mind. Do you have a question? What's your question? Andrea, can you tell me if my husband named Christian will decide to end his affair and return to me and work on our marriage? I will see. Let's find out. All right. While I'm shuffling these guys, if anyone is new to this channel, please take a moment to subscribe because we will be having more of these live readings in the future. And I do send out almost daily community readings for everyone. And they're a nice way to just kind of check in before the day begins. Sometimes before, during your lunch break, when you need to check in again, those videos can be really helpful. And it can also be nice because you stay sort of linked up. And then if something comes up and you want a one-on-one tarot reading and we can schedule something, you can always contact me. All right. Andrea, I'm just shuffling these a lot for you because I'm going to shuffle until I'm told to stop. Okay. Oh, okay. So this might not answer your question yet, but this is the betrayal card. And right now, this betrayal card is in reverse. What that means is you know that you've been betrayed. It's been incredibly painful. It was a near death experience in terms of your emotional well being. And you're at a point right now where, whatever the outcome, you can begin to let that pain go. And I don't have a guarantee that that means your husband is going to end the affair and come back to you. Something is about to happen, if it hasn't already, that is putting you in a better place emotionally and in terms of your thoughts surrounding this whole thing. So you're gonna have an answer soon, like now, if you haven't already gotten it. If your husband has come to you and said, "It's over and I'm never gonna see this woman again," if he's already said that to you, I think you can go ahead and trust him. If he hasn't said that yet, keep an eye out for that conversation or wait for signs that indicate otherwise. If he starts telling you or you're starting to understand that this is probably not an affair that's going to end anytime soon, then you're probably right and it's time to move on from that situation. You're you're not sure what to do about this, and it's because you're using too much brain, you're thinking too much about it. You need to lean into your intuition for the answer here. You need to be paying attention to and it's important for you to know intuition is different than fear and anxiety. Sometimes when you get a gut feeling, it's your thoughts and behavior, like beliefs, your behavior patterns telling you that it's your intuition when it's actually your anxiety or fear. So practice a little bit leaning into your intuition and make sure that it's your intuition that you're listening to, okay? Oh, and then you have the 3 of swords in reverse. I really think that this affair is coming to an end. I do think that you're about to have marriage back. I think your husband is working on this because you're having these 2 cards both in the reverse position, and they're both suggesting massive heartache coming to an end. So, it's looking good. It's looking good for you. Yeah. You've got I pulled 3 more cards. You've got the 5 of swords in reverse, no-win situation. I mean, anytime there's a disruption of a union like that, nobody wins. Your husband's not winning either. Move through this with a clear head. Whatever happens, just keep your head about you, keep your wits about you, and do not be afraid to get others on board, okay? If you have family or friends that you can talk to that can help you with this, just go ahead and tell them about it. But most importantly, this part is about confidence and leading the way. So if you believe that it's time and your husband has finished this affair, and it sure does look like he has, you can move forward with confidence and be the director of how this marriage is going to look from here on out. Okay? I hope that answered your question. Thank you so much for checking in today and asking. I'm glad that you reached out. All right, let's see who's next. Harmony, love, joy. My question is, I'm a psychic medium amongst other things. Why does it seem so hard for me to find paying clients? Okay, that's a good question. Oh, up, 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 up. A couple of cards have come out of here for you, and I'm looking at them to see what they're saying as I shuffle All right. The first thing is that someone actually might have done something to prevent you from getting paying clients. Um, there might be someone who is not helping you, they're hurting you. If you're working with someone who has any influence on your business, or maybe they're people that you just know and you're relying on them to maybe network or spread the word or something, they're not helping you out. And that's going to come to light pretty soon. And this is the follow-up card for that, the 10 of swords. So I think that there's going to be a revelation that someone actually is doing something to prevent you from getting the work, the paid work that you're trying to get. So be aware of that. But your first cards that came out here, you've got the Queen of Swords, so you must have some degree of good business sense. Okay, you might not have an actual education in business, but you have good business sense. Okay, you also have the Empress, which means that you have a knack for creating a strong, harmonious environment, caring for people. You are really in tune with people. You're incredibly empathetic. You have Mother Earth energy, and you are good at what you do. So understand that those are not your problems. You have good business sense, and you're also really good at helping people. So those are not your problems. You may be calling in bad energy. There's a lot of worry and anxiety wrapped up in this. You might be focusing a little bit too much on the money aspects and wondering why things aren't working out. Perhaps you want to spend a little time practicing, meditation, practicing manifesting, practicing sending out good energy. Pick up some literature from, Esther Hicks or whoever you want to pick up on, but get yourself in the zone of manifesting. All right, because definitely there's some anxiety wrapped up in this, and that can be blocking your energy. You could be hanging out in the wrong circles. You might need to be expanding. You might need to be talking to some other people. This is such a niche industry. Your tribe is going to be really important. And if you're getting cards like this, then you should be aware that you might need to start expanding your reach a little bit. See if you can be looking in different places, talking to different people. You got to do a little bit of networking. I don't think you're hanging out with the right circle here, and they are getting in your way. And they're preventing you from the Emperor energy, which is this is your big alpha energy. You're really feeling sort of like you've lost your mojo right now. And it has to do with the people that you're associating with. You've got to get your mojo back. If you can get your mojo back, you're going to be looking good. And in order to get there, you've got to start hanging out with some new people. There's someone in your group, someone in your contacts, just they're not good for you. They're sending you bad energy. They might be deliberately sabotaging you, but ultimately, they're not helping you at all. So it's time for you to reach out and look into some other circles for networking. So that's the advice. I hope that that helps. Thank you for coming in today. Please subscribe to my channel. Please check in. We actually do a lot of readings on manifesting and calling in good energy on the community reading. So you might find some insight there. And I'm new to this as well on YouTube, and I'm meeting a lot of new people in our circle. And you might end up meeting some people through here that really work for you. Okay, let's see. Oh, thank you for subscribing, Mindful Mind. I appreciate that. All right, I'm getting a little bit backed up. Let's see. Okay, thank you, Theta Grace. Thanks for checking in today. And let's see, Kelvin bone. Can I get a reading? Yes, absolutely, Kelvin. What's going on in my life is your question. Let's find out. I need to read that again because I read some other things on my way down without even meaning to. Okay. Kelvin Bone, what's going on in my life? What is going on in your life? Let's see. One, one more. Well, I'm paying attention to the cards. I always pay attention to the cards in my right hand as I'm shuffling. I did see two cards pop up while I was shuffling. The first was the Three of Cups, which means like hanging out with acquaintances, celebrating, having a good time with friends. And then the very next card that came up was the conflict card. So there could be a conflict in one or more of your social groups, your friend groups, not so much family. Unless your family is who you hang out with, socialize with, and you see them as your friends. But there could be some conflict going on in your social circles. Um, if you're experiencing any anxiety, any worries, anything that's sort of nagging at you, I mean, this is the anxiety card. This is the worry, keeping you up at night card. This is a card about negative belief systems and thought patterns. Let that go. This is the card is in reverse, and you're being asked to begin letting those negative thoughts and systems, let them go. All right. Do whatever you need to do to let those go. And you should be considering if you're not already working in a group of people, you're going to be looking for a team of people. I don't know what your goal is right now, but you're definitely gonna be benefited from you're gonna benefit from working with a group. You're gonna have a group of people, team, all pursuing a common goal. You're gonna have excellent communication with these people, and it will be a success. So move in that direction. Um, if you've if you're really struggling with anxiety and you're considering therapy and you've been introduced to like a therapy group practice or a group of people or something that can help you with that, that's coming in. And don't hesitate. The Knight of Pentacles is calling for steady, regular action, little steps, nothing hasty, nothing big, no leaps, but also no pausing. Don't wait on anything. You got to move forward with something. And it starts with like maybe a phone call or, looking something up. Just make sure they're regular little steps to get you in the direction you want to be going into. This card can represent feelings of loss, like you had these great things and you lost them. They can also represent when you are holding on too tightly to things that you thought were good for you, and it's time to let them go. I don't know if that makes sense to you right now. Like, I don't know what these cards mean for you, but this is definitely a card where there's a sense of losing control, losing the things that you thought were really important and may have been important at one time, and might still be a little important right now, but getting yourself to a place where you can acknowledge that you need to be seeking connections right now over attachments. Don't be seeking attachments. Let any attachments go. There might be some confusion along the way. Ah, all right. Here's where you're going. You're about to embark on a new trajectory, and it's going to be independent for a little bit. So you have this team card here. It's going to help you with whatever it is you want to accomplish, but ultimately, you are going to be moving forward sort of independently. This is going to be an independent trajectory. This is a little bit about cutting your losses. You're leaving things behind that are no longer serving you, but you're taking with you what you acknowledge you need that is important to you. Lean into your intuition. The moon is here. Lean into your subconscious, this being the water, but stay grounded. Does that make sense? So intuition and subconscious, but not too far out there. You need to stay grounded so that you can lean into that intuition. Um, is that helpful? That was definite. This is definitely your final card. You're about to change trajectories here. Something is happening for you, and it's gonna take you on a new path that you haven't been on before. And you're doing this independently, although the teamwork is going to be assisting you. Ultimately, this is an independent journey. Okay. All right. I hope that that reading helps, Kelvin. Thank you for checking in. Uh, all right, who is up next? Gotta scroll up here just a little bit. All right, mindful mind, working on it. Thank you so much. It's thank you, mindful mind, harmony, love, joy. Welcome. Okay, Parks, you're up next. Thanks for coming back. You were here a couple weeks ago. It's nice to see you again. I'm glad you're enjoying the street. You want to know if you're surrounding yourself with the right people and situations. All right, let's find out. Things might get a little noisy here for just a moment. We've got the house dog coming through. The dog's going to go out. Don't be surprised if there's a bark or a cough or something. It's all right. He's bringing good energy through. All right, Parks. Oh, okay. So here's the thing. It seems like you actually have some people, and well, this feels so general. Right, so if you're close to your family, all right, your family card is coming in strong here. It's in the upright position. And you might be someone who is really intelligent, really very wise, someone who thinks clearly and can communicate very well within your family. Like these people understand you and they're easy for you to communicate with and there's success here. All right. But then there's an area of your life that you're resisting losing. So there might actually be some people in your life who aren't necessarily that great for you. This is the Tower in reverse. Something's going to happen. There's going to be a shift, a change. There might be loss of a group of friends or some acquaintances in your life that you're not prepared to let go of. Um, but ultimately, you're going to need to. Don't resist the tower. The tower is coming anyway. Go with it. All right. Let it just go. That when it's in reverse, it means you're resisting. So there's something in your life you know you're not supposed to be dealing with right now. It's not a good influence on you. It's not a good situation. Whatever it is, you need to let and you know what it is. This card is telling me you know what it is. This is the Ace of Swords. You have a keen awareness of what's going on, and if you stay in that situation, you're going to have a lack of control. You're not going to be able to maintain it in the way that you would want to maintain this situation. It's going to get out of hand. So you have to know that. Um, there's an element of Knight of Cups energy here. Knight of Cups is like romantic, sort of come and sweep you off your feet, but this card is in reverse. So watch out for whoever this is. If you feel like something is too good to be true, it absolutely is, and you need to stay away from that. Okay? So I hope that that clears things up. Your family is good. Your family situation is really safe. And that could be sort of your basis for how you judge your other relationships. They don't feel as clear and understanding and productive as your family situation. And they feel like maybe they're too good to be true or losing control. Stay away from those. Does that make sense? Does that sound right? You're welcome, Parks. Thanks for stopping back in tonight. Oh, Harmony, you did take business in college. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, thank you, Jill. And you're an Aries. Well, okay, Taz, you're up next. Loving the stream. I was wondering how my day may go tomorrow. It's my first day back in school. That's exciting. Glad you're enjoying the stream. And just to give everyone a heads up, I do need to wrap it up here in just a few minutes. So we've got Taz and then um, Gretchen, and then who? Let's see, Taz, Gretchen, and then Unsavory Ace had a second question. I want to make sure that I answer that, and I think that's going to be the end of the night. So if you have any questions, if you're just popping in now and you haven't put anything in the chat yet, please um, send me a little note, either Facebook Messenger or an email, and I will make sure that I go to your question first on the next live stream, and I'll make sure that I have a live stream soon so that we can get to any questions that haven't been answered tonight. Right now, we're going to Taz, and I want to know how things are going to go tomorrow on your first practice. That's pretty exciting. I am seeing cards coming up as I'm shuffling. The first thing that you need to know is that whatever you're worried about, you can't let that get in your way. Okay, you've got. I think I want to show you the card so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about here. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Where did it go? I lost it. Well, there's a card in here that is the self-imprisonment card. that came up. So if you have any belief systems that are going to get in your way from fully being present tomorrow in school and like engaging in it the way that you want to be engaging in it, let those go. They're false imprisonments. Okay. And the second card that I saw as I was shuffling here was that you are going to have some challenges, but everything is an obstacle that you can easily overcome. You're quite capable of handling anything that comes up tomorrow. So these are going to be sort of for you minor challenges. I don't know what that looks like for you. Maybe it's like, you know, have to find your classroom and then you find it, or you're not sure about the schedule. You know, these are going to be like minor things that are going to come up. Whatever that may look like, you can handle it. You are going to have to make some decisions. I don't know if there's going to be a scheduling conflict. Something is going to come up and you're going to have to make a decision. This could be switching classes. This could be joining clubs. This could be where to sit at lunch. But you're going to have to make some decisions tomorrow, and you're going to feel like they're going to have an impact on the rest of the year because they will. Um, go go with your gut when you're making that decision tomorrow. Oh, okay. This is the card that came up while I was shuffling. I was telling you it's the false imprisonment card, and now it's in reverse. So you're already letting that go, which is fantastic. You may experience some disappointments tomorrow. Something might come up that feels like a tremendous disappointment. This could be the scheduling thing. I keep on getting this thing that there's a class that is not going to work out. There's something that you're not going to enjoy about this. Either you're not going to like it, or it's getting switched around, or there's been some kind of mistake, but you're probably going to be disappointed by something. And I really think it has to do with a class. Maybe it's like the professor, the instructor that you don't want. Tomorrow, when the day is done, when you go back home, take some time to recharge your battery. All right. You're going to need to take some time tomorrow after school and just regroup. Schedule in some time for yourself tomorrow where you're not going to have to be near any people. You're not going to be focused on anything. Get grounded. You're going to do a little meditation and you're going to regroup, recharge that social battery. Make sure you take care of that tomorrow. Okay. You're going to need it. Oh, this is a fantastic card for your spirit to end on. This is the Magician. This card is the ultimate manifestation card. It's telling you that you have absolutely everything you need at hand in order to create what you want to create. And you also understand, I don't know if you can see the position that this figure is taking. This is a direct line of energy from source to ground moving through you. You're going to make magic happen tomorrow. This is going to be a really good school year for you. So feel fantastic about it. Did that answer your question? Taz, thank you so much for popping in today. I hope that that answered your question. And have a wonderful day tomorrow. Okay, Gretchen, you were wondering if you'll be able to resume volunteering at the farm. Okay, let's find out. Now I'm wondering, like, how are things going with that? I'm sure so much has happened in the past couple of months. I just pulled the High Priestess as I was shuffling here, and that's spirit guides telling me to stop thinking about what could have happened in the past couple of months, get clear again, get out of my head, getting in my way. All right. This is your bad things that have happened in your past car. It's time to let go of things that are no longer serving you. That's the first card that's coming out. So that's not saying that you aren't going to be able to go back to the farm, but it is saying that there's some idealizing going on. There's some romanticizing going on about the farm, and it's not ultimately a great place. It's time for you to really stop and take stock in what you can do that would work well, okay? Take pause for a minute. And this is interesting because you're getting the Hermit in reverse next, and then the Conflict card. Then the Knight of Cups in reverse. Okay. All right. So there's some internal conflict and there's also some external conflict. You're getting the Hermit card in reverse, followed by the Five of Wands, followed by the Knight of Cups. This is not, if you're thinking about going back to the farm, it simply isn't time yet. You're not in a good place to go back there yet, and there might be some people who are sending you some, like, too good to be true kind of energy. They're making things sound like they could be better than they actually are. It's time for you to get sort of rebalanced. To rebalance some things. Don't drop the ball on anything right now. Focus on what you're currently engaged in. Whatever you're working on right now, focus on that. Don't get sucked back into the farm right now. It's not time. I don't know if it ever will be time, but definitely now is not the time. I hope that answered your question. Thank you, Gretchen, for stopping in tonight. And yes, we do need to catch up. I definitely want to hear how things are going. There was quite a situation. Thank you, Taz. I'm glad that you stopped in. Uh, Vanessa Mouse. Okay, so actually, Vanessa and Crystal, I know that you guys just popped in since I said something before Gretchen and Kelvin. I'm actually wrapping things up tonight. I've gotta close out in about a minute here. So if you could send me a message, I'm doing great. Thank you, Crystal. And I hear so okay. Let me pop this note into the chat box here because I do want to get to you guys. I have someone else ahead of you. Let me go back up to here. Um, okay, let me pop that in there so that everyone else knows. I am going to get Crystal and Vanessa, but I've got someone in front of you. Let me go back up here to where did you go? Okay, unsavory ace. Are you still here? If you're still in the room, I'm going to answer your second question. I've been waiting a long time. Oh, you're here. Okay, great. So your second question, let me make sure that I just confirm this is the question answered. How do I tell somebody important to me something I've been keeping from them when the relationship is strained already? That's a tough one. Let's see. Well, you're gonna have to let it out. You've been holding on to it, and you've been holding on to it protective of the information, also are using it you're afraid to relinquish the control that you have, which makes sense. If you've been holding on to some information that you know that they don't wanna hear, it may be time to say something because by having the information over them and they don't know that you have it over them, you're kind of one-upping the situation. I know that it feels like you're protecting them, but there's also a control aspect that is that is serving you, but it's negatively serving you. It's negatively serving the other person. You're gonna have to lean into moon energy on this, okay? The moon is a really amazing card for you to get because, first of all, it is talking about your intuition. So you do need to lead with your intuition on this. When you decide to tell this person what they need to know, um, use your intuition to determine the best time and the best way. But also, moon energy is big growth energy. It is sort of like chariot that you're getting from one place to another, but it's complete opposite from the chariot because the chariot moves you, it's got these like opposing forces that are equal and opposite, and they push you forward and you have control, and it's like quick A to B. Whereas with the moon, you've got the domesticated dog and the wolf that are battling back and forth with their power, with their force. And they are impossible to ever get on the same page at the same time. So in order to manage them, you gotta work within these pillars, your framework, okay? These are you. These are your pillars, your structure, your foundation. You stay true to you and let these 2 kinda battle it out, and this battle is going to be a meandering path. It's gonna be back and forth, up and bottom. Beauty of it is every single part of this path needs to be appreciated because this is how growth and evolution occur, and it is protective feminine energy that is encapsulating you throughout the process. So it's gonna feel scary, it's gonna feel like you can't do it, it's gonna feel like there's no control, but there actually is control because it's within your framework and you're protected by feminine energy. Lead with your intuition on this. Those are the only 2 cards for that answer, honestly. The next card I'm pulling, and I know it isn't yours, I mean, you don't wanna be hasty. You don't wanna be sharp tongued. You don't wanna rush through this. This is gonna require a conversation and patience. You must be patient. Patient with yourself and patient with the person that you share the information with, alright? There's your answer to that question. That was a great question. I hope that that helped. Okay. Okay. That is fantastic. I'm glad you stopped in tonight. Stone Ladder Designs. I would like to be on here at least every Tuesday. I would like to do this evening, um, at same time, 7 o'clock, but everything is still in flux. I'm playing around with it, so It might change. I might add a day, I might change the day, but it will be at minimum once a week. And definitely, if you want to come back again, subscribe to the channel because that's the easiest way for you to get notifications of another live reading. All right, so let me go back up here. I'm going to do Crystal and Vanessa first. I'm going to do Vanessa Mouse and then Crystal. Vanessa Mouse, what's coming toward me in love? Single. You're single. Okay. And guys, sometimes it is, as I'm scrolling through here, it's really easy for me to accidentally miss someone. So if I ever, if you're ever in here and you pop your name up there, and I miss you, I scroll past you and I go to someone else by accident, definitely let me know. Put something in the chat so that I know to get to you. Oh, things are going to change. The world is coming up in reverse, okay? The world is the card that describes different seasons of life. You are going to have many different romantic relationships before you find the person who you're going to spend the rest of your life with. Okay, that's the first thing you need to know. So, when you're moving through this, don't be afraid to have more than one relationship. They don't have to be at the same time. But when you get into a relationship, understand that it might not be forever. It might be a temporary relationship, and it's important to appreciate that for what it is. You don't have to have a reason to move on when it's time to move on. Okay. So when you do meet the next person, understand that it might not be the one and only. Okay. So this is giving me sort of a play by play, if you will. And I want to make sure that I'm fully understanding this before I show you the cards and read it to you. I can tell you that ultimately you're going to find the King of Pentacles. I mean, you're going to have massive success in the relationship department. But you do need to get through a couple of things first. I see that you're going to be, first of all, you're going to have to experience a relationship where you feel like you're taking on all of the burden of the relationship, and you're going to have to learn how to let that go. That is going to be a learning lesson for you, where you're going to be in a relationship, you're going to be taking on all of the burden, all of the work. It's going to be exhausting. When you're in that relationship, know that that is not for you. You're going to have to let that one go. Okay, so that's the first. You're also going to be in a situation where you have to make a choice. This might be a choice between two separate people you want to be with and you're not sure about. Um, if you find that spot, remember this card. This card is saying if you're thinking too hard, this is not a pros and cons situation. When you're looking at two potential partners and you're trying to decide between them, don't think with your head, okay? You're gonna have to go with your intuition, and when you get there, you're gonna lean into your dreams, your subconscious, and your intuition, all right? That's what's gonna let that blindfold off, and it's going to tip the scales, and you'll be able to make your decision. The moon is the next card in this, and if you were paying attention earlier, I don't know if you were listening or not, but the moon is the card that talks about, the messy, meandering growth of life. Stay within your framework and follow your gut, follow your intuition, lead with your intuition. Rely on, for you, what's coming up in this card is you want to rely on older females for guidance at times, or strong friends. If you've got strong female friends, strong feminine energy coming from people in your life, you want to lean into that when you're having a hard time making decisions about relationships. Okay. It's going to be messy at times. You're going to have some messy relationships. There's going to be conflict. You're going to create internal conflict. You're going to hit times when you don't know what to do with these relationships. It's going to be part of the process. You're starting with the World card in reverse, suggesting that this is going to be a cycle of things that have to happen, and you're going through all of these steps, and ultimately you've got your King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is not necessarily a male figure, but this is a masculine energy, and this is incredibly fruitful, abundant, prolific energy, and ultimate like security. You're going to feel extremely secure in the relationships you find yourself in, and when you feel that, that's your cue. That is how you're going to know you found the right one, but you've got to get through these ones first. Okay? Does that answer your question? Vanessa, I hope that that answered your question. You asked what's coming toward you in love, and there was no like single answer. That was sort of a long game answer. Thank you for coming in today. I hope you like and subscribe. Okay, Crystal, this is it, girl. You're the last one on the list. Hello, I'm a new subscriber. Thank you for subscribing. I'm doing very well today. I'm having a great day. You are too. And you want to know, how does Jay feel about you? Try to communicate with last. Let me make sure I'm reading this. Let's see. You know what? I'm having some technical difficulty. I need to plug my laptop in. Give me 1 minute and I'll be right back. Okay. Let me read through this question again. Okay, so you ultimately you want to know how Jay feels about you and whether or not he's going to try to talk to you. Is that right? Oh, thank you, Mirthan Bermucci. Have a great night. Okay, Crystal, got it. All right. What is Jay? Okay, so the first thing that I'm starting to get here a little bit is that I'm getting resistance on Jay's end. Okay, I'm getting like some psychic resistance on Jay's end. So sometimes that happens. If I don't have permission, like to get information from spirit guides because there's a breakdown somewhere, then I don't get it. So I'm going to have to rephrase the question, and make it more about you than about Jay. So I'm just gonna say something like, "What's up with Jay and Crystal?" See see what happens there. I'm getting a little more flexibility on that one. Things are loosening up a little. Oh, okay. So the first thing to know is the Queen of Cups is an emotionally intelligent archetype. She's really, really good at understanding emotions. She's really good at understanding her own and other people's emotions. And the key to the Queen of Cups is the fact that she's holding this amazing cup. And what she's doing there is she's holding space for emotions. So, to some degree, both of you appear to be holding emotional space for this interaction. There's This is an emotionally charged situation for both of you, and you're both holding that space open, okay? Which I find interesting. Okay, second card is the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, there might be something about timing. There's something where the 2 of you are, like, taking stock. You're maybe trying to assess your own situations, and there's something off about the timing. So although space is being held for that emotional charge for each other, there's the timing might not be right. This is a card of past memories, like fond memories, old friends, old loves. Um, Jay is someone who you did know when you were younger, and in tarot, young is anyone younger than 30. That's youth in tarot language. So if you knew this person before you turned 30, um, then it can represent you have fond memories, and there's potential for a bond there of, a strong bond from childhood. This is an interesting card to come up. This is the 3 of Swords in reverse, which doesn't usually come up in a sequence of like this kind of reading sequence. It would appear that one or both of you has to let go of another relationship first, another love, another heartache. Something has to get cleared up, um, which might, it could be that the timing is off because there's another relationship from the past that has to fully heal. Like the end of that has to fully heal. Does that make sense? And right now, it's really, really important to be patient, to understand, like, the hangman is asking you to make peace with your current situation, allow it to change you, allow it to give you new perspective, rest into it, okay? Because ultimately, you're going to benefit from it if you can rest into it. Don't fight it, don't try to rush through it, don't try to ignore it, acknowledge it, and let it change you, okay? He might be in a relationship. He might be in a relationship. If he's not in a relationship, he might still be trying to get over a relationship. Or, I mean, I don't know how long you've known him. Is it possible that he's, been in love with you forever and he's trying to let you go and move on, because the timing hasn't been right and he doesn't know if the timing will ever be right? I mean, is that possible? So for something, he's oh, yeah. This card, this is the disappointment card coming in reverse. He's having a hard time letting go of the disappointment. Are you both having a hard time getting over this? Or are you trying to keep your distance? Gotcha. Yeah. Don't resist the changes here. Okay. You gotta let things happen. There's resisting the disappointment, letting go of the heartbreak. This is about, yeah, yeah, this makes sense. So the tower in reverse means that there has been like a major shakeup, but there's resistance to accepting that major shakeup. Um, I would say that right now it's not the time to start anything back up with him. You're getting this one next, which means it's time to move on, and you're getting the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, saying that there's not an opportunity here with Jay. It's just not the right time. If there ever will be in the future, I don't know. But right now, you're both definitely still hung up on the situation. And you're not having an easy time getting past the disappointments, and you're holding on to something that maybe, you don't need anymore. You got to rest. You guys both need to sort of rest into just the feeling of it, acknowledge it, see where that takes you, rather than trying to fix the problem or trying to hold on or trying to work it out. Okay? I hope that answers your question. Thank you so much for checking in, and thank you for being patient. I know there were a lot of people ahead of you tonight, but I'm glad that we were able. Guys, thank you everyone for being here tonight. Um, I hope to see you again. I do plan on doing lots more of these live streams. So have a wonderful night and happy Tarot Tuesday.